So your warm-up today is drawing a, sorry, it's, hello, there we go. Okay, drawing a angle ABC. Sorry about that. All right, so you drew your own angle. I drew one myself on our warm-up. And you might be right there. I need to check, but obviously we changed seats. You might be there. I need to check. Yeah. So now, we learned yesterday, if you have an angle, your first step is you don't touch this first. You need to draw a segment first. So draw yourself a segment, put a point at the end, okay? So you have an angle, you drew a segment, and then what do we do after that? Anyone remember? Now we're going to use our compass. It doesn't matter what the size is, but you're going to make an arc on here and the same arc on the new segment, okay? So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to pointy point on the vertex, and then down here, same thing, pointy point on the vertex, the end point. And you see how I'm like rotating my paper? That's the easiest way to make these arcs not look weird. And you always want to make your arc as big as you can, okay? Cool. So again, I drew an angle. I used my arc on both, right? On Thursday. So draw your own angle, and then we're copying it. Now your last step, on the original angle from here to here, we need to measure it using our compass. So put your pointing point on one intersection and your pencil on the other intersection. I drew mine kind of small, but oh well. Yeah, make your own random angle, and then you're going to copy it. Now, once you measure it, then you come down to this intersection and you make a mark. Okay? Does everyone see I've got kind of like an X looking thing there? You can put a point where they cross, and then all you got to do is draw from your endpoint through that intersection, and that should look pretty similar. It should be the same. Okay? So you did that on your warm-up for Thursday. Now, I'm going to pass out your assignment that looks like this. Now, if you were here yesterday for the notes, you should be able to do the front side no problem. But every year, people mess up on number 1 and 2. So is everyone looking over here? Okay? It's the same thing as your paper, but what does it say we have to do on number 1? We have to do what? Copy the angle first, which is just like the warm-up. We just did this, right? So over here, copy the angle. Draw a segment, draw the arcs, measure from here to here, mark it, you know, the way we just did it. The way we did on the notes yesterday and the way we just did it. But that's not it for number 1. What else do you need to do for number 1? Bisect it. That's the 4th page of the notes yesterday, where you make the X and you cut it in half. So once you copy it, you're going to cut that one in half. Look at your notes. We did it on the 4th page. And if you need help, we'll help you, okay? Then, number 2, what do we have to do? To construct a congruent segment, then you're going to have to basically copy the segment. That was yesterday's warm-up, and 2 days ago we did it on the notes. 1st page of the notes. So remember, you draw a long line, you measure from here to here, and you make a little mark. Copy it. Then what do you have to do to find the midpoint? Bisect it. So for number 1 and 2, you copy it first, then you bisect it. You copy it first, then you bisect it. Okay? So that's doing all 4 things we learned over the last 2 days. And if you get stuck, let me know. What about 3 and 4? What's the first word in number 3 and 4? What does it say? Name. To name something, you're going to tell me what the construction is. You don't actually have to do anything. You just write words here, and it's blank. What is happening there? So here are your options. It's either copying a segment, bisecting a segment, copying an angle, or bisecting an angle. The 4 things we did in the notes, those are your 4 options for these 2 blanks down here at the bottom. So you kind of look at your notes and say, oh, that's kind of what it looked like it was doing. It's either bisecting or copying an angle or a segment. Cool? When you get to the back, some people admit defeat early and say, I cannot do this. But guess what? I went over this. You do know how to do this, okay? Some of them are a little more challenging, but you can do this because this is when we did angle and segment addition. Part plus part is whole. We've done it. You can do it. So you got that front and back to do. We can work on it today. We might have time tomorrow, but might have a quiz on constructions. So you definitely want to get number 1 and 2 done and know how to do that. Because if you can do 1 and 2 today, quiz will be no big deal. So let's do that now.